From time immemorial, people have been looking for energy sources. They noticed that some places replenish vital resources, while others drained energy. People built pyramids, used crystals. Scientists of the past were also puzzled in their search for energy sources. For example, Nostradamus created certain structures in which energy was concentrated. Tesla utilized the possibilities of ether as an alternative energy source. But in this day and age, it's possible to assess the impact of external sources on human energy resources.
I was interested in questions of the unknown, and one of the questions was mirrors. There are a lot of legends associated with mirrors, and I became interested in whether there was anything behind it. It was the beginning of the 90s, and I started studying it. I've gathered a very large number of facts and testimonies from authoritative people who said that mirrors are not as simple. Sometimes people saw the future in mirrors. Sometimes they saw the past. As soon as they looked into mirrors, they fell into a special state of consciousness, and so I started studying this phenomenon. Eventually, in 2002, I wrote this book called These Mysterious Mirrors, where I tried to generalize the information known at the time. And it so happened that after some time, together with a certain entity, we have organized the Center for Integral Health Technologies, and you're standing in one of its laboratories right now.
In the course of our in-depth investigations into the holographic matrix, it turned out that every human is influenced by many different external factors, which affect their energy level and vital resources. This very influence can, for example, result in a person getting ill, or it can play a significant role in shaping a person's psychophysical condition. And we were always posed with the question of what to do, how to restore our resources, because we know that vital energy is the primary energy for a person. So the question is, where do we get it? The matrix represents a certain program of human development, meaning it carries all information about their development. It serves as a personal informational cluster, according to which a person can develop before coming into this world. Then they are born, so the physical body is formed, and the matrix carries the program of their destiny, so to speak. It determines what events are bound to happen in their life. Besides, the matrix is a carrier of genetic information. While we are used to considering genetics as something directly connected with human health, in fact, our genetics contain all the information about our ancestors and our relatives, their destiny, the events that happen to them, stressful situations that happen in their lives, and also their reactions to those events. Metaphorically speaking, the matrix operates like an ever-present video camera, capturing each second or even millisecond with unwavering precision. And so, initially, the matrix of a person, any person, has a harmonious shape. I think everyone probably knows what the shape of an egg is. An egg is a symbol of light. Our talk about a holographic matrix are not just mere words. Back in the day, a famous scientist, academic, and professor of medicine, Zerkal Kozırev, said that a person is not just a protein nucleic form of life, that is our physical body. A person is a field structure, and the main component in it is a holographic matrix, because it carries the entire information about the development of a person as a biological object, and also the information about their life as a whole, meaning their destiny. And naturally, every person has a harmonious matrix to begin with. However, at birth, Some negative programs of information are already superimposed from their parents, and these programs deform a newborn's harmonious matrix. Thus, the destiny of a person, their goals, and their direction of life are deformed as well. A person actually gets into a low-frequency range of events, and they have to battle this range throughout their entire life. This deformity can affect personal life, relationships, creative potential, personal development, and career, among many other aspects of our lives. The matrix carries not only the energy component, actually, it also carries the information component. As I mentioned before, it serves as a carrier of a person's life program. This is the outermost informational shell. But this informational shell holds the energy around a person. If a person has enough energy, then the signals pass quickly. And our cells, our organs, always receive signals that make them work and work properly. If a person does not have enough energy, it means that the signal is weak. The signal cannot travel through our body because somewhere there may be muscle blocks, and these blocks do not allow our signals to pass through. And naturally, our task once again stands as follows: how to restore the matrix, the integrity of the matrix, how to restore energy resources, and we looked for different methods that would allow us to do it, that would help us in answering these questions. Modern scientists, like their predecessors in the past, are also searching for sources of energy. For example, scientist Nikolai Kozyrev conducted experiments that revealed the existence of unique energy flows in the cosmos, which actually spread out faster than the speed of light. And, most importantly, he also demonstrated that these specific energy currents can be reflected by mirrored surfaces. So mirrors deserve a much closer study. But these are not just mirror surfaces, they're special aluminum alloy. Vlail Kaznacheyev, a professor of medicine, continued Kozyrev's work, and based on his theoretical and experimental work, created the first spiral mirrors and named them Kozyrev mirrors after Nikolai Kozyrev. Our company Sphere is the successor of these scientific developments, and in the year 2010, we created a research laboratory of integrated bioinformational technologies and a production base where different designs are developed. And our scientific director is Vitaly Pravdivtsev, a scientist, candidate of technical sciences, who's also the founder and developer. He's the one who created the designs of Kozyrev mirrors. We call them bioinformational harmonizers, or BIH for short, because they actually harmonize the entire sphere of a person, as well as their physical and mental state.
The fact is that the program for our normal functioning is embedded in every one of us at birth. It then deteriorates, but at night it's updated, and it appears, roughly speaking, when we enter our brain in the delta theta state. Through the alpha state, we begin to accept subtle information that we do not receive well during the day, and it is at night that the body is healed. So let's say an update is made, i.e. the anti-Kaspersky works, meaning your program has deteriorated from illness, from changing time zones, and so on, from stress, so it's corrected. And at night, we correct it, especially between 2 and 4 o'clock in the morning. And this information, the program, is corrected for us, and the body begins to work according to the normal, originally embedded program. That is what happens in the mirrors. We are updating the program. The body heals everything itself. We do not heal with mirrors. The body simply restores the primary good program without viruses, like Kaspersky does. It starts to work faster and more efficiently. And mirrors allow you to do this. This is the main difference between mirrors and sleep, I suppose, in that during sleep, we go into this state. We have beta rhythms and so on. They drop a little, and we're not able to remember. We don't remember our dreams, for example. But at this time, there is a renewal, and thoughts come, and the body is renewed. And so in mirrors, unlike sleep, where we do not remember anything, we remember the last piece of sleep. We're able to remember these images, these visions that visit us, and therefore, people who come out of their beta rhythms, they don't switch off, they don't sag. People exit this rhythm and calmly remember everything that they saw. A composer will run over and they'll say, "Hand me my guitar, quickly, some great chords have just come to me." Someone says what images they've had and they begin to draw when they've never drawn before. Meaning, this memory doesn't turn off. A person comes out of the mirrors, on the one hand, having received some necessary information from the information field, and on the other hand, they're able to remember this information. This is the main difference between mirrors and sleep. As an example,
Vitaly Pravdivtsev is a retired colonel of the Space Missile Defense Directorate. Many studies on the effect of reflective surfaces on humans were conducted there. Vitaly conducted such studies for more than 30 years. During all these years, they developed different methodologies and conducted experiments. And there were studies that were conducted on the basis of these experiments. For example, at the Bakulev Institute, which is the Center for Cardiovascular Surgery, there was a 5-year study of the effect of reflective surfaces on humans. These experiments provided compelling evidence that such surfaces exert positive and beneficial influence on human health, enhancing their well-being. Over the course of extensive multi-year research, it was revealed that different designs of mirrors, different shapes, these can be horizontal, vertical, different geometric shapes, affect the physical state of a person and their psyche in different ways. For example, horizontal mirrors synchronize a person's energy with the magnetic field of the Earth more effectively. Vertical mirrors work better with the information field and with the energy of outer space. Different mirror designs distribute energy throughout the body differently. And the most important thing is that Vitaly worked out the sizes of mirrors, recognizing that it is of paramount importance to human physiology. As a result of his work, those sizes that we use in our designs, they precisely tune the parameters of the human physical body with external energy flows.
here, for example, our mirrors are 90 centimeters in diameter. The dimensions were not chosen randomly. This takes into account the dimensions of the human body. Now, some people think that in cylindrical mirrors, the focus and concentration are in the very center, but it's nothing of the sort. These are people who, to put it mildly, are not very familiar with optics and technology in general. In cylindrical mirrors, the maximum field density is along the perimeter, and not near the mirror itself, but somewhere around half the radius. And so we have these mirrors, and we have a little bed made at a certain height. So we have a radius of 45 centimeters. The bed is somewhere at a height of 20 centimeters, meaning that when a person lies down, their spine is maximally in the energy information field. And in the center, we don't have it here. More precisely, there is also an increase, of course, due to the generalization, but there is no such effect. So if you make, for example, some 3-meter or 4-meter mirrors, then the concentration in the center will not be higher.
We conducted independent research in different institutes. For example, we cooperate with the Tesla Center, which is located in Belgrade, Serbia. We provided our designs to this center, which conducted many studies on the effect of these mirrors on humans and on the energy potential that our mirrors have. In addition, research was conducted at the Institute of Cell Biophysics. This is the Academy of Medical Sciences in the city of Pushino. And during the research, The mirrors reveal certain properties and consequently
an effect of accelerated regeneration in humans.
I think this is important for women because
It promotes rejuvenation from mirrors during sessions.
we already have such results. Also, studies of our mirrors were conducted. We conducted them at the North Caucasus Federal University. Studies related to human consciousness and the brain are of great interest. These studies were conducted by the Institute of the Brain, and very interesting patterns were revealed that from mirrors, neural connections are activated in humans, and brain power increases. This promotes both information processing and the acceptance of new ideas, new knowledge, and understanding of ongoing processes. That is to say, it promotes the expansion of human consciousness. We already have several modifications of mirrors in the works, each with a different focus in working with the physical body of a person, with his conscious state and with his energy. If we talk, for example, about the horizontal mirrors, they are excellent for helping a person relax. They have a strong effect of stress reduction. They're very good at relaxing muscles and joints. And in such mirrors, a person simply rests and restores the strength. Different horizontal mirrors depend, for example, on what resonators we use. There is an offset mirror which distributes energy. You could say like a DNA spiral,
In winding lines.
and this is very important when a person experiences a misalignment of organs or energy centers, because there are cases when the muscles are tense on one side while on the other, they're the opposite, relaxed. And here such an alignment takes place in energy balance, you could say. There's also what is called a direct focus mirror. There the energy is directed along the spine. It activates the processes of the central nervous system to pass signals very effectively. The general feature of Kozyrev's BIH mirrors, the short form of bioinformational harmonizers, is that they're primarily aimed at activating the natural processes of human recovery. This is very important. It's actually an alternative because not everything can be cured with drugs. That is to say, medications often only provide support rather than a cure. Ultimately, the success of any treatment depends on the individual's internal resources and how well their natural processes are activated. So, in Kozyrev mirrors, there are such processes that turn this on. The first is our physiological characteristics. Due to the fact that we receive additional energy,
which involves the infusion of etheric energy within the mirrors.
the central nervous system is activated. What does this mean? Our brain is our computer that controls the entire body. So, due to the fact that energy processes participating in the transmission of nerve impulses are switched on, a person's feedback, biological feedback, is restored in the mirrors, which is what should be turned on normally. This also enables the body's self-diagnosis, meaning the body itself switches on these processes. We have these functions embedded. They are just dormant in many people, and in those areas where a person has problems and knows about them, or when there are hidden problems, these places begin to react. Some minor pain may arise. There might be a pulse somewhere, they feel cold somewhere, heat somewhere. There might be an involuntary muscle contraction somewhere where the muscle relaxes. This is how self-diagnosis occurs within the space of mirrors. I didn't expect that it would have this huge effect. I felt it physically in my body because I had serious muscle tension and massages didn't relieve it at all. Nothing helped. And after the 5th session, I realized that now my back doesn't hurt. My lower back doesn't hurt. So it means that it works. I scheduled 5 more sessions after that, and the most interesting thing is that my wishes started to come true. By the way, I'm not telling you a fairy tale now. It is genuinely true, because when you enter into completely different resonance with our world, as they say, what we emit is what we receive. And in this state, we attract a completely different series of events, which begin to develop harmoniously in a balanced way. Now I'm inspired to open my own center, Kozyrev's Mirror. People come to us with different conditions. They're in completely different initial states, and we need to understand whether to immerse them in a more powerful mirror or to immerse them in a softer acting mirror. And before the first session, we always conduct a diagnostics test to see the initial state of the person. This is cardiorhythm diagnostics, where we see not only the energetic biological resources of a person, their age, biological age, so to speak, but also the state of the main 7 systems. And in accordance with this, we suggest with which mirror, for example, they should start their sessions with. I particularly want to highlight a mirror like the left spiral. The left spiral mirror promotes a very effective removal of, for example, mental distress. It removes mental tension in this case. It removes physical tension. It removes psychological tension. Different people come to us, for example, people who work in the Ministry of Emergency Situations, SWAT, or participants of the Special Military Operation. This mirror works great with tense psychological states. And there were also such results where after sessions with a mirror, for example, a person's claustrophobia goes away. We had such results after just 1 or 2 sessions. We also have multifaceted mirrors, as we call them. That is, they have different configurations. A hexagonal mirror and octagonal mirror. A hexagonal mirror, for example, works very well with our body's fluid state. It facilitates the structuring of blood, enhancing its coherence as well as organizing both intercellular and intracellular fluids to improve cellular function. It affects our entire lymphatic system, so the lymph also becomes more structured. The flow of fluids are directed and distributed correctly. The kidneys and the brain are starting to work better because they also contain water. Our octagonal mirror is not a simple one. It has several of these resonators or inserts, and this mirror works well with the endocrine system, the skeletal system, and for all those who have problems with the skeletal system, starting with the spine, joints, and so on, the changes that occur in the structure of the physical body after a session with this mirror are very positive. The mirror with a dome resonator is very interesting. This was known in ancient architecture. This is about the effect of shapes. Each shape creates certain energy flows. The dome mirror, in particular, functions through a sophisticated principle of multi-layered energy interactions, creating a complex and harmonious effect. A person can also awaken such abilities as seeing an event happening more clearly or feel some forms of energy better, meaning such subtle processes in a person also begin to awaken. This is a spherical construction, the form of an egg or the egg of Nostradamus. The uniqueness of this mirror is its 9 layers of specific metals and dielectrics. And on the inside, we have a copper layer. This egg provides a comprehensive harmonization for a person. This is achieved because its form mirrors the natural shape of the human external sphere, or what we call the human energy matrix, aligning perfectly with the body's intrinsic energetic structure. Such a powerful harmonization and densification of energy occurs. We even have a specific function for this structure. On a person's birthday, they can use this egg to set a program for their life for the year ahead, meaning they can build goals for a year ahead either on their birthday or within 7 days after the birthday. And in fact, those who have visited this mirror set some goals on their birthday and ended up achieving those goals. There are some specific side effects that must be carefully considered to ensure the safe use of the mirrors, and these are always thoroughly evaluated to prioritize the client's safety and well-being. In addition, each person always fills out an informed consent form in order to indicate what diseases they have, chronic illnesses, their condition on that particular day, in order for us to know which mirror would be the best choice for the client. Based on the diagnostic indicators, we see how the body reacted to the process from the mirror, how easily it activated and how much the processes have actually initiated. Your stress index decreased by 20 units, so the body began to remember how to relax. This is important as it affects every cell. The psycho-emotional state gradually returned to normal. The biological age was +14 due to the general load, now +9 years. Natural recovery is underway, the body's healing itself. Essentially, this is the self-regulation process that unfolds within you, allowing systems to realign and restore vitality. I'm ecstatic as I originally came here to understand my purpose. Thanks to the 10 mirror sessions I've had, I've understood it and truly felt it. There was already kind of spiritual inner fulfillment, and in the egg, I felt it especially on the physical level, because the processes which took place back there are quite difficult to explain in words. My headaches disappeared. I started feeling better. My sleep returned to normal, and now I have a strong feeling that the whole world is right at my feet. After each visitor, an informational cleansing of the mirrors is conducted to remove the energy informational trace of the person. We are next to one of the horizontal mirrors, which features a specialized horizontal modification known as the offset design. The body of such mirrors is made of a special aluminum alloy. Inside the mirror, there are disintegrators of information clusters, volumetric disintegrators. Basically, one draws in energy, the other gives out clean energy. They clean the energy space of the mirror after visitors. And this is the disintegrator of information clusters, a passive disintegrator. This is a crystal, a quartz crystal, silicon dioxide, embedded with a sophisticated program designed to thoroughly clean the space of the mirrors and maintain this cleanliness of space inside the mirrors. After each visitor, we always perform a mandatory cleaning of the mirror with an active disintegrator, as we call it. This is done with the help of photon flows, meaning if you just insert a crystal, the space will not be cleaned. What's key is the program that is recorded on the crystal, giving us the cleaning technology. And if we turn it on and direct such an active disintegrator, then with the help of such a powerful photon beam of light, plus the program, the space of the mirror is cleaned. Today, a very relevant topic is the development of tourism in Russia. The President Vladimir Putin spoke about this. We offer a new alternative tourism, which is wellness tourism. At one of the meetings on this topic, we have actually presented a project on wellness tourism and proposed our project that includes Kozyrev mirrors. For example, what ensures the safety of visiting the mirror sessions? First of all, these are, of course, certificates. These are expert evaluations we've obtained regarding the safety of the mirrors. These are certificates of environmental safety. The most important thing is the certificates confirming our innovative developments. In 2023, our company entered the top 100 goods and services of the Russian Federation and the Eurasian Union. It also won the award for innovative developments and high-quality products. The registration of our developments, namely the Kozyrev BIH mirrors in the global system, IPROF, as know-how and pre-patent registration covers approximately 190 countries. In other words, we've successfully completed such registration. As of today, in addition to our laboratory, we have branches in Moscow and St. Petersburg. 2 wellness centers operate with our mirrors, and they are our representatives. And I want to say that they work exactly according to our technologies and methodologies. There's also a center in Rostov, Sochi, and Armenia working with these mirrors. We are open to cooperation and will be glad if such centers open not only in Russia but also abroad. Because there are people everywhere who need help, health, restoration of their vitality, and inner resources, and this technology will always be in demand.